días y bienvenidos a la Bolsa de Nueva York. Soy Trinidad Chávez, es 11 de julio 2023. Felicidades en este día especial. Good morning, I'm Trinity Chavez, and welcome to the New York Stock Exchange, the epicenter of the global financial markets. It is Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. We are perched up high above the trading floor at the New York Stock Exchange, the oldest and most influential securities exchange in the United States, and we are welcoming Vesta Real Estate Corporation, ticker symbol VTMX, in celebration of its IPO listing on the NYSE. And to honor the occasion, Vesta's chairman and CEO, Lawrence Bruno, will ring the opening bell, and millions of people around the world will be watching Vesta open the markets. Now, to give everyone a little background of the company, Vesta operates over 200 functional industrial buildings in Mexico with a gross total leasable area of 33.7 million square feet. And today, Vesta is celebrating its IPO listing from June 30th with an IPO size of more than $387 million. This is the largest placement by a Mexican company in the U.S. since Grupo Financiero Santander Mexico, S.A.B, in 2012. Now, Mexico is home to 11 NYSE-listed companies with a total market value of nearly $133 million, with 764,279 employees. But today, it's all about celebrating Vesta, and as it joins the NYSE community of over 2,400 listed companies. We have Vesta's branding all over our building, from the cubes behind me above the trading floor to the banner right there, streamed across the facade of the New York Stock Exchange on the corner of Wall and Broad Streets in Lower Manhattan. Now, we have so much to get to, but first we are going to toss it to the boardroom to listen to our colleague Cassandra Sear.
Wow, what a day, and what a group. My name is Cassandra Sear. I'm head of international capital markets. And today, we're here to celebrate with the whole team at Vesta on your listing day on New York Stock Exchange on June 30th. And today, we're here to do an important job, to ring the opening bell for the market. Many people know that the IPO market has been rather challenging of late. People in this room know that a lot of hard work and dedication and laser-sharp focus from Vesta team went in to execute this flawlessly. And the Vesta team did exactly that. Let me give you a few examples of how the team differentiated themselves. Number one, Vesta is now the 11th company from Mexico to list on the New York Stock Exchange. We had 9 international companies listed on the New York Stock Exchange this year, and Vesta has the largest capital raise. Of $387.5 million in our international company this year. Vesta is also the first company in real estate sector to debut at the NYSE this year. Amazing, amazing. Since 1998, Vesta has grown from being a privately held real estate company to now a publicly traded company on 2 countries listing, Mexico and the United States, and with over 80 employees and over 200 buildings in its portfolio. What an incredible success. Now, with these successes come a fearless leader. And with that, I am going to invite Lorenzo Dominic Barrow, CEO of Vesta. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much for your work.
Congratulations, of
We're very
course.
excited to be here.
Amazing, amazing.
Very
So
excited.
so happy to be part of this journey.
Muchas gracias, Cassandra. And thank you very much to all the New York Stock Exchange family. This is clearly a great opportunity to be greeted by a great team at a great place. 11 Wall Street means a lot for Vesta. At July 11, being the 11th Mexican company to be listed at the New York Stock Exchange. Certain things do not happen just by coincidence. The idea of having the whole Vesta team, board members, family, and friends is a strong signal that we want to leave our roots also at Wall Street. Our idea is to connect Wall Street with Mexican streets. And Mexican streets, it's about creating jobs inside of industrial buildings, inside of modern, best-in-class facilities, where there's only one important metric or one important element to follow. There's jobs to be created, there's economic prosperity to be created, because there's only one objective that we all have, and that's why we collaborate every day. We want a prosperous Mexico. Mexico needs strong teams, Mexico needs strong companies, good leadership, but more importantly, collaboration. And the word collaboration today means a lot to us. It's collaborating among countries, among citizens. And that's why we're here to race for North America. North America is about more cultures, not only one, it's about even more languages, and we gotta make sure that North America works well. North America works well, it's gonna be great for the US, it's gonna be great for Mexico, Canada, and it's gonna be great for the New York Stock Exchange too. With that, Cassandra, I would like to thank you by giving you a small present, which is just a small representation of Vesta from it's Arte Huichol, which is native. It's one of the native ethnic indigenous races in Mexico, which represents our appreciation, our love for our country, and again, the roots that we want to continue living at the New York Stock Exchange, and hopefully we are the 11th Mexican company to be domiciled at the New York Stock Exchange, but we can also contribute to other Mexican companies to come over here and to express our gratitude to the doors opening and the warm welcoming that you just gave to us. So thank you very much, Cassandra.
We'll take a picture. Thank you, Lorenzo.
Thank you.
All right, we also like to give you some gifts. Now, thank you for being the bell ringer today. And with that, we have a wonderful medallion that has your name as well as the buttonwood tree. You saw on the video just now, that was the tree that symbolized the when 24 brokers came together to sign the founding agreement that they are going to trade in an orderly fashion. And that's how New York Stock Exchange was started in 1792. And these are the pillars in front of our facade, which has been there since 1903, and that represents free enterprise of the world. So this is yours to keep. But don't worry, we'll mail it to you so you don't have to carry this around today. And for those who came, you have a smaller version of the coin that you can get on the way out later or on the way back. And this is going to be the gavel for you to ring your opening bell. Thank you. And one more gift. We love to give gifts. And this is going to be the original stock certificate, dated June 30th for Vesta. And thank you again for issuing your shares here.
Gracias.
Yes, gracias. All right, so thank you. We're going to go down, of course. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have to go down to ring the opening bell. And for those with a blue stripe.
Now we just heard from Cassandra, as you just heard, and Lorenzo as well, who is the CEO of Vesta Corporation. He was talking about job creation, economic prosperity, and how this will also entice more companies from Mexico to list here with us at the New York Stock Exchange. And you saw the gift presentation as well. And we do this to commemorate the beginning of a long-standing relationship with Vesta as it joins the NYSE community. And we also saw, Lorenzo Lorenzo giving a gift to Cassandra as well. And again, this speaks to the significance because it also reflects the tradition and heritage of the NYSE. It upholds the customs and rituals that we have been a part of, the exchange's cultures for centuries. Now, these ceremonial gestures pay homage to the past while embracing the future of finance. And in just a few moments, we're going to see members of Vesta's executive team make their way down that long corridor on the 6th floor at the New York Stock Exchange, where we have a dozen iconic rooms. And we have held some of the most fascinating, memorable events here in that boardroom that you just saw. It was actually completely transformed to a pickleball court just last year when we had a few exhibition matches. So here at the NYSE, it's never a dull moment. And in just a few moments, again, we're going to see the whole Vesta team gather under the Bell podium. Right now we're seeing pictures of those scrimmages that we had last year in that boardroom. But again, in just a few moments, we're going to see the whole team underneath that Bell podium to sign the Distinguished Guest Book, which I will tell you about in just a little bit. But first, I want to take a look at some pictures of them heading down that long corridor, going into the elevators, which, fun fact, these were the quickest elevators when this building first opened in 1923. But again, I'm sure there they are right now. There's Cassandra and Lorenzo, and we're going to see them head down to the trading floor and follow I like to say, go through the maze of technology here on the trading floor as they make their way underneath the Bell podium and sign the Distinguished Guest Book, which I will get to in just a few moments. But I want to give you a brief history about this institution. The New York Stock Exchange traces its roots back to 1792, when a group of traders gathered beneath a buttonwood tree on Wall Street. They formed an agreement famously known as the Buttonwood Agreement to create a centralized marketplace for buying and selling stocks and bonds. But little did they know, this humble beginning would lay the foundation for one of the world's largest stock exchanges. Fast forward 231 years, we now have over 2,400 listed companies, and the NYSE has around $40 trillion in total market cap. The exchange has become synonymous with corporate giants, and it hosts some of the most recognizable names like Coca-Cola, IBM, and Disney, offering investors the opportunity to invest in well-established, trusted companies. And so that is, again, a hugely historic thing that you get here listing with the New York Stock Exchange. But beyond its role in the capital formation, the NYSE also plays a critical role in providing liquidity to the market. Liquidity refers to the ease of buying and selling stocks. The exchange provides a centralized platform where buyers and sellers can meet right here on that trading floor, which we're getting video of right now as they make their way underneath that Bell podium, where they are going to sign the Distinguished Guest Book. And again, this is hugely significant because there have been dozens of thought leaders, entrepreneurs, celebrities who have walked down those same lines. Actually, if you can see those little black and blue lines on the trading floor as they are heading their way underneath the Bell podium. And again, this is an active trading floor. We have between 100 to 200 traders that are actively placing in orders that have come in overnight as we prepare to open up the U.S. equity markets. There's Cassandra right there, actually speaking to members of our team who have been working hard to put Vesta's branding on the cubes above the trading floor as well as on the facade of the building. And there they are, right in front of CNBC's set right here. We're going to utilize this opportunity right now with our in-house photography team to capture every single moment of this historic day. Again, Vesta is joining the NYSE family. And again, what sets the NYSE apart from any other exchange in the world is the fact that we also have a specialized trader known as a designated market maker, or DMM, who is an invaluable resource for your company on the trading floor of the NYSE. And we'll speak to them a little bit later in the show. But right now, again, like I said, everyone is getting situated underneath the Bell podium as we prepare to open up the markets. And we're going to get to that in just a few moments. But first, we're going to take a look at a company video, and I'll meet you on the trading floor.
Bienvenidos. Detrás de cada nave y de cada Vesta Park hay un equipo orgulloso de sus éxitos.
Para mí, saber que Vesta cotiza en Nueva York representa un orgullo enorme.
Me da muchísimo orgullo, me da muchísima emoción saber que una empresa mexicana está ahí, ¿no? Que ha llevado un largo camino y que finalmente se logra estar ahí.
No todo el mundo puede lograrlo. De verdad, hay muy pocas empresas en México que cotizan en Nueva York.
Y además representa muchos retos nuevos de los que vamos a tener para poder seguir creciendo aún más cada día.
El orgullo que genera cada éxito está basado de análisis y metas muy claras.
Creo que era una empresa que estábamos muy preparada para llegar a donde llegamos. Sin embargo, es un trabajo muy dedicado y es muchas horas de trabajo enfocadas a lo que estamos haciendo.
El tiempo, el esfuerzo y la dedicación fueron unos grandes retos.
El valor que creamos, al igual que la construcción de un Vesta Park, no se logra con una sola persona. Hemos alcanzado nuestras metas en equipo.
Bueno, sin duda, el trabajo de cada uno de los que formamos parte de esta organización es fundamental para cada uno de los logros que tenemos como organización. La experiencia, la motivación, el trabajo arduo de cada uno de nosotros es importantísimo para seguir creciendo como empresa.
Desde las decisiones que toma la dirección general hasta las decisiones que se hacen en cualquier área de la compañía son relevantes para estar en donde estamos.
Sin su trabajo no hubiéramos podido lograr la colocación en Nueva York.
Estamos arrancando una nueva etapa en la que vamos avanzando a pasos agigantados y tenemos la increíble oportunidad de hacer la diferencia.
Estar listados en esta bolsa nos da mayor visibilidad ante los inversionistas, lo cual va a permitir que atraigamos más inversión extranjera, lo cual va a ayudar al crecimiento no solo de Vesta, sino de nuestro querido México también. Y esto también, sin duda, va a generar o va a ayudar a expandir nuestras operaciones, no solo en los mercados en los que hoy tenemos presencia, sino en otros mercados dentro de México y en mercados internacionales.
El reto para Vesta sigue siendo el mismo, seguir elevando los estándares para cumplir con las necesidades de nuestros clientes.
Vesta hoy forma parte del New York Stock Exchange. Esto es motivo de gran orgullo, de nuevas responsabilidades y de muchas oportunidades de crecimiento profesional y personal. Gracias a cada colaborador, proveedor y cliente por ser parte de Vesta.
Vesta, Elevating Standards.
Now we are on the trading floor. I have to say the crowd is already getting very excited. Now this is members of Vesta's team, you know, colleagues, friends, family even, as they are capturing every single moment, signing that distinguished guest book, which I was saying was hugely significant because of the dozens of thought leaders, entrepreneurs, and celebrities who have etched their name in that book as well. And to speak about the sort of history behind the New York Stock Exchange, I'm actually catching a glimpse right now of our lead archivist here at the New York Stock Exchange to kind of talk about the history. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. So we were just telling the viewers about the Distinguished Guest Book, why this is hugely significant. I was saying that you're actually the perfect person to talk about the history of the New York Stock Exchange for those who might not know why this moment is so significant.
Well, I mean, it's so significant. We have a new company listing on the New York Stock Exchange. I believe our 11th company from Mexico currently. But that book goes back even before that. That book goes back to the 1940s, really, of all the distinguished guests that come here, not just from the United States, but international guests. You know, this is a regular stop when UN Week on the tour. But also, it goes back to even prior, which is, as the audience back home sees, all the traders here on the trading floor, we have another book that all of them signed, and so that goes back to the 1800s. 30,000 traders on the New York Stock Exchange of our history have signed that book, and then we've added hundreds, if not thousands, of world leaders, business leaders, celebrities like that who signed the book that they're signing right now, and they're being quite loud and having a good time about it.
What about you, Pete? Have you ever signed that book?
I have not. I've never signed the book. I've never rang the bell. One day, you know, maybe on my retirement they'll let me do all that.
I want to be invited to that day so I could also be a part of it as well.
We're going to be covering it on NYSE TV Live.
But let's sort of give everyone a recap about what they could expect on a day like this. So after they sign their name, which we just saw everybody do, they're going to make their way up to the bell podium, and I like to say they take the secret staircase, and we're going to get glimpses of the wall, which all the thought leaders, entrepreneurs, celebrities have signed as well. What's the significance in this?
Well, I actually like that wall more than even the book, because the book is only signed by the bell ringer, right? Every day, opening bell, closing bell, 2 people. While the wall is signed by all the people on the bell podium, and that can be everyone from the first employees of a company, the board members, their children, you know, everything like that. And that is it's a egalitarian signing of all those people.
Great. And speaking of history, Vesta just had their 25th year anniversary, which, you know, congratulations to that as well. So let's take a quick look at a 25-year anniversary video.
Hace 25 años creímos era posible. Creímos que con esfuerzo y dedicación nadie podría pararnos. Creemos que las oportunidades siempre están al alcance del más preparado.
Esta es una empresa con una dinámica, creo, muy por encima de sus peers y en mucha medida es por el estilo de liderazgo que siempre ha tenido Vesta, por su gente. Vesta tiene un equipo muy robusto, directivo, operativo, que ha sido parte fundamental de su éxito.
A lo largo del camino hemos aprendido que hacemos algo más grande que naves industriales.
Vesta no solo ofrece espacios industriales, ofrece good tenant relationships. Tenemos una muy buena relación con el cliente desde un inicio, desde el proceso que estamos preparándole el espacio hasta que ya está en operación el servicio al cliente.
Nos hemos distinguido por ser fieles a nuestros valores de respeto, integridad, pasión y amor por México, y a la firme creencia de que siempre podemos ser mejores.
Lo que caracteriza a las construcciones de Vesta es que son definitivamente de nivel clase A.
Y exigen a los que participamos en estos como proyectistas y diseñadores y constructores que siempre estemos a la vanguardia y que tengan la calidad necesaria para sobrepasar los estándares del mercado.
Desde nuestros inicios, hemos contado con metas claras para disminuir nuestro impacto ambiental, mejorar las comunidades donde operamos y regirnos por un fuerte gobierno corporativo.
Para nosotros fue muy gratificante poder encontrar un socio como lo encontramos con Vesta y poder explotar esa sociedad en lo que es ahora el edificio certificado LEED Gold de Eaton Bravos.
Esta historia no ha hecho más que empezar. En Vesta, sabemos que la grandeza está en cada uno de nosotros. Siempre nos proyectamos hacia adelante, porque nos inspira nuestro futuro.
Creo que algo que hace Vesta muy importante es pensar a futuro.
Tenemos que estar listos para atender a una necesidad mundial.
Y no solo para que sea Vesta solo el ganador, es para que México sea ganador.
Imaginación, visión, equipo, estrategia, crecimiento, cambio, futuro, éxito. Vesta, elevating standards.
Now we're at a different point of the trading floor because it was just getting so crowded right there. Actually, I want to make my way over there again because, again, we're right in front of the CNBC set where dozens of the colleagues from Vesta Corporation is here gathered right in front of the set as we are getting shots of the crowd. They're hugely excited. That's sort of our job here at the New York Stock Exchange, is to make a splash. Get everybody extremely excited, and we're going to hear them get very riled up in just a few moments as we get ready to open up the U.S. equity markets. That's going to happen at 9:29 and 30 seconds. When we listen and look at, I think that they're grabbing selfies and all the fun things. And if I have to tell everyone, if you're taking videos, everyone, make sure to tag us at NYSE so we can repost it. And at 9:29 and 30 seconds, we're gonna need everybody to get very excited, start screaming. Let's disrupt CNBC's broadcast a little bit and get excited, okay? And that's gonna happen in just a few moments. But first, we're gonna take a look at another company video.
And you're seeing shots right now of that first trade bell. And although Vesta has had their, see again, traders are zipping past me because this is an active trading floor. Once again, they're placing in those orders. The U.S. equity markets are officially open, but the first trade bell will ring. Again, it's a I can't even talk because I'm so excited. Celebratory first trade bell because the stock has been open since June 30th. But I want to get a little bit of a market update right now as we're getting images of the podium. I'm going to bring in my colleague, Jay Woods, who is the Chief Global Strategist for Freedom Capital. Good morning, Jay.
Trinity, it's great to see you. This is an electric crowd today.
You were just saying how it's very hard not to get excited, right?
Yeah, this group brought the energy. We love it when we get a new company like this come to the New York Stock Exchange. And from Mexico, it's fantastic.
It's amazing. It's actually our 11th company that's from Mexico that's listed here at the New York Stock Exchange. But, you know, I want to talk a little bit about the market right now. The market just opened. What are we expecting today?
Yeah, the market's up a little bit today. That's good. We've had a tremendous run. Best first half of the year. You know, Vesta listed on the last day, or second to last day of the first half of the year. So what a great way to end it. We got off to a slow start with a holiday weekend. Fireworks are about to begin. We got a lot of economic data coming up starting tomorrow with the CPI. We've got PPI on Thursday, then we have earnings season kicking off. When I say earnings season kicking off, I mean the financials. JP Morgan, Citibank, Wells Fargo, 3 great companies that trade here at the New York Stock Exchange. So a lot to look forward to, and the fact that we're doing it with the market at 52-week highs is a great thing.
And what do you think are the biggest trends happening right now that's driving the economy?
The trends right now, we're seeing the industrial sector really start to pick up. And, you know, everyone talked about the Magnificent Seven, these 7 stocks that took this market higher. But no, there's a bit of broadening, and we're seeing it in real estate. We're seeing it in industrials. So right now, market conditions are ripe, and they're good. And judging by Vesta's IPO and the price, you know, we opened at 31. We're trading at 34.72. Market likes it. I like it too.
Market likes it. We actually just saw video of the first trade bell, which you all just saw just a few minutes ago. But I want to speak to your position. Now, as a Chief Market Global Strategist for Freedom Capital, I can't even talk today. What is going on?
Capital, yeah, go ahead.
But how do you assess risk management for your investors?
Well, risk management for any investor, not just Freedom investors, any retail investor is the most important thing. When anyone gets into a trade, the most important thing you have to think is, okay, what is my downside risk? Yes, we all want to make money, we want to buy a stock, we want to go up, go to the moon, whatever it is, but whenever you get involved in a trade, you have to have hedging strategies if you're a big firm like ours to manage downside risk, and you have to have a game plan, and you have to stick to it. And sticking to a game plan is the hardest thing, because once you own a stock, you treat it a little differently, but always manage risk.
And speaking of game plan, we're actually getting video right now of the Vesta team signing that wall, and we were telling all our viewers why that's hugely significant. But tell me, Jay, have you actually ever signed the wall?
I did get to sign that wall. I did get to ring that bell, and you could feel the energy from Vesta. I had that same energy. I've been in this building for 30 years, and I finally got to ring it one time, and it is an amazing experience. I'm glad they got to, you know, sign that wall and ring that bell, because it's something that, you know, you'll remember forever. This is an iconic place, and we're very happy that the team for Vesta is part of the family now.
Amazing. And you know what? We're going to get images right now as they get situated by the first trade bell, but we're going to toss it to another video, and we'll be right back.
Infinite gratitude for joining me on this crazy voyage of building CI&T. It's for you, CI&T Pioneer.
We are now part of a business that is creating value and is going to continue creating value by protecting the environment, which is very, very satisfying for everybody that's involved.
You are making human connections, and that's what you are about.
We've built the enterprise digital commerce platform that's reshaping the software industry.
For us, it's not just about trying to create the best beauty company in the world, but most important is really trying to become the best beauty company for the world.
This is our opportunity to make business and technology work in harmony.
Now I am here with Paula. Paula, tell everybody what you do back at who is watching, what do you do here at the New York Stock Exchange?
So I'm head of Canada and Latin America for the NYSE. So obviously this is a very exciting day for me and for the NYSE because Vesta is our client of ours. I work on the international capital markets, and we've been talking to Vesta for the past year now, helping the company come to market in the US. So very, very exciting day. You can feel the energy of the crowd, and just very, very happy to be here.
Amazing. Now tell me about the significance behind Vesta's IPO, being here, a part of the NYSE community.
Obviously, Vesta is a historic moment here at the NYSE. They are the 11th Mexican company to ring the bell to trade on the NYSE. So, and the first IPO of an operating Mexican company in 10 years. So I know that the management is very excited to be here. We're definitely very glad to have them, and very exciting with the pipeline from the region and things ahead.
What can we expect for things ahead? What do you anticipate how will this change the landscape moving forward?
So we had an amazing first half in 2023. We had, from the region, we had Brazil, Ambipar Response list with us in March. And now, obviously, Vesta from Mexico that listed with us 2 weeks ago. And we expect more from the region. We are very optimistic about Latin America in general. We've been talking to a few companies that have been gearing up towards an IPO by the end of the year, beginning of next. So we're very, very excited. We could not be more optimistic about Latin America.
Well, it looks like we're waiting on the first trade bell right now. I mean, and it looks like Lorenzo has the mallet. I mean, you've seen many first trade bells, right? I mean, has there been a favorite one?
Honestly, I have my expectations for this one. We have such an amazing crowd today. We're full house. We have over 100 people from Vesta here today. They've flown all across the US and Mexico to be here. They're very loud. They're very excited. So I'm looking forward to this first trade bell.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited as well, and I think that we're going to get some video right now of all the excitement that's taking place. Again, ringing the opening bell to the U.S. equity markets is hugely significant, but again, that first trade bell only happens once Vesta rang their first trade bell on June 30th when their company first initially went public. Again, this is a celebratory one, so let's listen in. And again, we're getting video of the first trade bell, the celebratory trade bell that's taking place right now. Vesta officially a part of the NYSE community, a hugely monumental day, joining the long list of over 2,400 listed companies listed at the NYSE, one of the largest, most influential exchanges in the world, unlike any other. And it looks like everyone is sort of taking their turns behind that trade bell. Having a good time as dozens of their friends, colleagues, teammates are gathered here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Again, this is close to the public, so to be here on the floor is monumental because, again, this is not open to the public, and to be a part of this celebration, it's truly, truly significant. We're going to listen in now. We're actually going to speak with Lorenzo Carranza, Lorenzo Carona, and Juan Setil, members of the executive team of Vesta, in just a few moments as we are getting situated right now. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
¿Cómo te va?
Bien, gracias.
Right there.
So we're going to do Lorenzo. We do our interview first. joined right now with Lorenzo Burjo. He is the CEO of Vesta. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How are you feeling right now?
Well, we're incredibly excited about today's moment, being the 11th Mexican company to be listed in the New York Stock Exchange, and actually the first real estate Mexican company listed in the U.S.
And you know, I really love what you were saying in the boardroom, how you hope this entices more Mexican companies to come list with us at the New York Stock Exchange. I mean, as a Latina, my dad's from Mexico. I mean, for what it does for U.S.-Mexico relations, and you mentioned Canada as well, I mean, that's hugely significant in itself.
No, absolutely. First and foremost, we are very proud Mexicans. We're proud of our country, we're proud of our people, and this is a way to elevate the standards of Mexican companies, Mexican entrepreneurs, and taking companies to next level. And what we believe is that the New York Stock Exchange is exactly doing that. So that's why, being the 11th company, we're hopefully not the last one, but probably the first one of many more to come.
Many more to come, and actually taking companies to the next level. I like how you said that. Now, how do you think this IPO will impact the future growth of Vesta?
Oh, absolutely. This is a great way to capitalize the company, to keep on funding great opportunities. We are in the real estate sector, industrial and logistics, and particularly in this moment in time where nearshoring has become a real important matter globally. It's a good way to intersect the US and Mexico and to make them collaborate more in something that only happens every 2-3 decades, and this is exactly the moment that we are living right now.
And can you speak to the significance of Vesta's IPO and how it will impact the overall market?
Oh, absolutely. I think in the end it's about being good stewards of capital and have a fiduciary duty to existing investors and new investors, and that's exactly our approach, to become better stewards and to make the community and the rest of other developers and investors to do the same. There's a lot of capital looking for great opportunities, and we believe that our sector and our industry is exactly a good way to invest and a good way to make investors happy in something that is not only creates jobs but generates prosperity for the Mexican economy.
Thank you so much, Lorenzo. Now, to all your teammates who are watching near and far, what would you like to tell them?
Hola a todos, qué bueno que estamos aquí en el New York Stock Exchange. Felicidades, esto es por México, es por Vesta y es por todo el equipo. Gracias.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Lorenzo. I will let you continue your celebration.
Thank you very much.
Take care. All right, now we are going to, oh, hi, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. I mean, it's such an amazing day, an exciting day. You have such a great crowd here. How are you feeling right now?
Well, I cannot be more excited. This is like a dream come true. It's the work of 25 years. It's a teamwork, it's a collaboration, the discipline, the vision, and especially the hard work. So it's really a pleasure. I cannot be more excited about this day.
Now tell me about, again, how this IPO will impact the overall market and your future plans.
Well, definitely. I believe that getting to the Mexican Bolsa was a great milestone 10 years ago, and we did that, and we were convinced that that was the first step, important step that we should to take to grab the capital markets. But then during these 10 years, we have been able to report quarter by quarter and to try to take the corporate governance at the highest level possible. And being a Mexican company, we're really proud that this discipline and this corporate governance has paid off. And this is the result of hard work and discipline during all these years.
Hard work and discipline, I love that. Now tell me, why was IPOing now the right time?
Okay, I believe that it all really depends on the combination of the needs to improve the supply chains in the world, the regionalism, and the combination, the North America 2.0, which is something that we strongly believe that we need to build upon that and develop the most industrial, the most developed parts in the last generation, and be ready to capture all this nearshoring trend, which is part of the evolution of the industrial production system, e-commerce as well, and all that is helping, and we believe that having a more competitive Mexico helps us to have a more competitive North America.
And what are you most excited about for the future?
Well, I'm excited about this opportunity. This is something that increases, opens our mindset, and gets just be able to have all our management team and all our board that has been extremely supportive here really puts us in a different level. So I'm really proud and happy and thankful to the work of everybody.
And we are thankful to you for joining the New York Stock Exchange family, and congratulations again. I'll let you continue the celebration.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations again, and thank you for your help.
We will see you soon. Okay, bye-bye. All right, I'm going to bring in another interview. Hi.
How are you?
I mean, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Well, very nervous, but very happy. Thrilled to be here.
Why are you nervous?
Well, this is a big place. I mean...
And how has your experience been so far being at the New York Stock Exchange?
It's a goal. I mean, we achieved what we never thought we could do. We have been a public company in Mexico for more than 10 years. We have been incredibly successful, but to be here in the New York Stock Exchange and being a successful company here, it's a thrill of a lifetime.
Now, what would you say was the main reason to IPO now?
Well, look, Vesta is growing a lot, and Mexico needs a lot of money to invest in the country, to create jobs, to help the nearshoring tailwinds, to bring more jobs to North America. And the best market to do that is certainly the New York Stock Exchange.
And speaking of market, what do you think Vesta brings to the market? What sets it apart from its competitors?
Well, first of all, the level of excellence that we have. We have been a public company for more than 10 years. We have been guided by a great board, which has guided us to be best in class in Mexico. And now we want to say to the American investors, we can help you save, we can help you invest in North America, and we can build a better future for the region, for all of us.
And it obviously takes a hugely committed team to get to where you are today. What would you like to tell everyone who's watching near and far?
Well, that Mexico, the United States, and Canada have a great opportunity to continue to grow, to create jobs, to continue to ease the pains of supply chains, and Vesta, the US and Canada, can certainly do that.
Would you like to say anything else in Spanish?
Felicidades a todos nuestros inversionistas y bueno, continuemos trabajando para todos para atraer más inversión a México.
Amazing. Well, congratulations again. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, now I'm going to toss it to my colleague Judy Shaw, who actually spoke to Mexico's Deputy Minister of Finance of Public Credit. We'll take a look.
I'm Judy Shaw for NYSE Floor Talk. Joining me today is Gabriel Llorio. He is Deputy Minister of Finance and Public Credit of Mexico. Deputy Minister, it's wonderful to have you here. Thanks for joining me today.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So, Deputy Minister, can you elaborate about Mexico's new sustainable taxonomy?
No, yeah, sure, and thank you for the opportunity to share about our new taxonomy. We just presented a couple of weeks ago, and it has unique features. I think the two specific features, one is that it's a sustainable taxonomy, so it is green, and it has also social dimensions. Mexico is an emerging market, middle income, so we need to address some social gaps. But the second one is that the main social gap that we are bringing in this taxonomy is gender equality. So these are two different features that make it unique compared to other taxonomies in Mexico and no?
Okay. Now tell me, what are the main targets of Mexico's sustainable finance strategy, and how does this taxonomy fit in?
You know, we're trying to speed and mobilize more financing or more resources to fight climate change, but also to address these specific social gaps. And the taxonomy will help us to do that. We're going to be using our financial system or develop our local markets in order to mobilize these resources. Using the taxonomy will help us to identify specific targets on all these, let's call it, sustainable objectives that we need to address in the not only in the short term, but also on the medium term.
Okay, so you did mention that you are different from other taxonomies. Tell me, what is the main difference, and how is it different from others that are around the world?
You know, the taxonomies were born first to address climate change, so they are called green taxonomies. And we're using the green taxonomies as a base, and we expanded with a social dimension issue. So that's why we're calling it sustainable taxonomy. I think that's the main difference. But the good news is that the Mexican taxonomy is going to be in line with the European taxonomy. So practically we're standardizing the way we treat or we identify the impacts of economic activities on sustainability, climate change, but also like gender gaps.
Now, why did you decide to include the social dimension to your taxonomy?
This is a very good question because you know, we still need to address these social gaps. Mexico is a developing country, So we are interested in fighting climate change, but at the same time, we need to address these social goals. So for us, it's important to bring the sustainable perspective and to identify the cross effect between green policies and social policies.
All right, so talk to me about the index. How does it work and how do you hope to use it?
You know, we're bringing this characteristic on the taxonomy. The Gender Equality Index is an index that captures, for example, the way women are integrated in our labor force. Also, equality measures such as the wage gap, and it has a cross-cutting effect. So we can map in other economic activities how much they contribute to gender equality, and that's how we are going to use the index.
Okay. And finally, talk to me about the immediate projects you're working on to foster the green and sustainable markets for Mexico.
Yeah, no, sure, and we want to take, to take the most of the benefit of the taxonomy. So we want to bring well-being to the people in Mexico, and we want to use the taxonomy, for example, to develop green mortgages in our country. We already have the certifications. We want to provide cheap financing. So with the taxonomy, we can actually identify what buildings are green or what houses are green and provide a source of funding for people to access affordable housing, but affordable green housing. That's what we want to do. No?
All right. Well, wonderful news.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me on Floor Talk. It's great to have you here today.
No, thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
Well, that about wraps it up. I mean, this is such an exciting day. We now have Vesta, part of the NYSE community, officially, and we welcome everyone back for milestone celebrations, investor days, whatever it might be. I'll be covering it. Now, before we completely wrap up, I'm going to toss it to my colleague Josh King with the last word.
You know, if you were watching closely everything that we just saw here from the New York Stock Exchange, you heard Lorenzo Berho say the message of the day exactly right. He said that we are connecting Wall Street with Mexican streets to create jobs and prosperity. And, you know, they say summer's quiet here in New York City, but it's anything but at the New York Stock Exchange. We are here in July, and during the first 6 months of the year, we've been busy as beavers, welcoming 12 companies switching their listings to our exchange that together added nearly $100 billion in new market cap to our $30 trillion marketplace. Now, back in May, we hosted the largest IPO of the year, Kenvue, and so far we've overseen 8 of the 10 of the year's largest transactions. Now, there's this dual magic of this place. On the one hand, helping companies raise the capital they need to hire people, develop products, and help change the world. The same thing you heard Lorenzo talk about. And at the same time, to operate this orderly and transparent marketplace that investors trust, to help them share in the financial upside when the dreams of company founders like those behind me are realized. The most recent, as you just saw Trinity Chavez cover here on NYSE TV, is Vesta. It's a fully integrated real estate company that owns, manages, develops, and leases industrial properties in Mexico. Now, Vesta's holdings, as you just saw, are vast, with more than 202 buildings with a leasable area of over 33 million square feet. Vesta's onto something really important to the U.S. as tensions with China mount. The idea is nearshoring. Now, as Peter Goodman of the New York Times wrote earlier this year, I'm going to quote him, as American companies recalibrate the risks of relying on Chinese factories to make their goods, some are shifting business to a country far closer to home, Mexico. Goodman writes that when one of our own NYSE-listed companies, Walmart, needed $1 million worth of new uniforms for its stores, it turned away from its usual supplier in China to a family-run apparel business in Mexico, as they saw clearly driving a truck across the border to Bentonville. It's a lot easier than shipping them across the Pacific to clogged ports along our coasts. And yeah, you may hear buy American from some, and when it comes to national security components like semiconductors, that makes a lot of sense. But if a product has to be imported, better that it comes from a nearby friendly neighbor than a far-off foe. The same Times story noted that 40% of the value of Mexico's exports to the United States consist of parts and components made at American plants, and yet only 4% of imports from China are American-made. So today marks the first Mexican IPO of an operating company since Controladora Vuela Compañía de Aviación, that's NYSE ticker symbol VLRS, back in 2013. Welcome, Vesta, ticker symbol VTMX, to the world's greatest community of 24 listed companies. Before today, 10 of which were headquartered in Mexico, and with you, there's 11. And there's room for many more. I'm Josh King, and that's the last word.